Bruh. I'm sorry. I got no better way to say it. That. Anyways, halftime, FAMU, South Carolina State, in Orangeburg. I done come this close to cussing too many times, but we had a big play early. Xavier Smith caught the ball deep. Then a couple targeting calls, and really these refs, like I'm gonna say it for Willie Simmons because he can't get fined. But he can get fined. I can't. They're not gonna find me out. You're not getting money no way. These refs are chitlin juice. Like I mean, I'm just saying, straight up chitlin juice, straight out of the red bucket that you get from either Winn Dixie or whatever place it is. Straight chitlin juice because twice we've seen the refs try to call targeting against FAMU. I'm just saying, like, don't you ain't got to be that obvious. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just being petty right now. But something they had to have talked about. Like targeting has to be something that either the SWAC or the MEAC are telling the refs to look for because of what is going on in the current landscape of football. But that was some biggity back bull stuff that those double targeting calls were called and neither was upheld. I'm just saying foolishness. Penalties, tons of penalties. This game is very sloppy as far as just like holding penalties and things like that. And they really changed the game. Like we saw late in the second quarter where a penalty took FAMU out of scoring position, and it really they're changing the game. The refs are really becoming at times so involved in the game to where it's keeping South Carolina State in it, but it's also making it difficult for FAMU to just run their offense, which honestly we're just running really a spread offense. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of pistol today, but you really haven't needed to. The shotgun is beneficent. I mean, I'm a person that I like the shotgun. I love it, but I do like a little bit of I formation, but you really don't need it in this game. Um, yeah. But the refs, man, that I ain't gonna say it. Well, I'll say it because Coach Simmons won't, because so he don't get fined. But these refs have changed the game, and they are getting on my nerves. Big takeaways as far as offense to offense. South Carolina State's offense has tried to establish the run. FAMU's defense is just not having it. I mean, that's something that I've told you before, and we've said FAMU's defense is stingy like your granddaddy, like stingy like your daddy the week before he get paid. Like not that week he get paid, but that week before he get paid, where he may have spent all his money, so he waiting on his next check to get things right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all got families. Yeah, that FAMU that kind of stingy. Like you go to the dollar store and ask your daddy for $1, and like, you got Dollar Tree money? Like we talking about that kind of stingy. FAMU's defense is extremely stingy. But that being stated, South Carolina State quarterback, I told you he's not very accurate. He's not very accurate. He's hit on a couple balls though, especially jump balls, and he threw a dime late in the second quarter. That I mean, even the ESPN folks had to replay that because they were like, "Oh, he could throw that," and I was like, "Yeah, he could throw it." Uh, but that's a big thing right there. And South Carolina State's offense is not in rhythm. If they can find a rhythm, I think they have. It's the hurry up offense and the marching 101s on the field. So I'm not going to go too long, but they may have found a rhythm in the hurry up offense. Look for that in the second half of the game, similar to what we saw against Jackson State. Like they found a rhythm, they took advantage of it. FAMU's offense, man, we hit that early big play. We tried to establish a run with Jennings. I hope we continue to do so, but we weren't we weren't in sync ourselves for quite a while. Musa was off largely because the penetration was starting to affect him. South Carolina State's defensive line is solid. It's a given. They've been really good. They're showing some of the highlights right now, and it's just they've been there. But FAMU's been able to hit on some big plays. We've been able to kind of eat up the zone defense where they run it. Both defenses, to me, from what I've seen, are running a zone. FAMU's been able to take advantage of that, and Moose is accurate enough to where he's able to throw into the holes of the defense. As long as he can set his feet. If you get around Moose's feet, it's a problem. And our receivers are surprisingly giving South Carolina State a few more problems than I thought. They're struggling with our speed. That's something that I knew that was going to be our biggest uh, our biggest benefit was the speed that we have compared to their speed. It's just different. Florida speed is just different. Musa did miss a few catches, few deep balls catches. He missed some deep balls, and one guy was open. But he does hit Shareed again in the middle of that zone, and it was a beauty. South Carolina State's defense, that defensive line is active. Like they're being coached to put their hands up. You're seeing that. They've tipped a few balls, and Moose is not a short guy. He's like 6'2", 6'3". So I mean, he's not a short quarterback. But they've tipped some balls, and they've come really close to getting some turnovers, one of which was an almost fumble. Thankfully, it wasn't because Moose's arm went forward. But they're generating pressure. They are causing problems for Musa as far as him getting comfortable. But that is where the FAMU screen game comes in. As much as I do hate as much as we run the screen, it's been needed. The tight end screen was slick. We took something from that Alabama A&M game where they ran that tight end screen on us on that first drive. FAMU's done the same. We've run the screen a few times, and we've gotten some nice yards, some nice gets off of it. So as much as I don't love the Willie screen is working. FAMU's defense, though, they are making it hard for South Carolina State to move the ball. Again, stingy as your daddy the week before pay week. We are that kind of stingy. BJ Bowler gets an interception and hits the shimmy for all the good brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. BJ Bowler is one of you, and he hit the shimmy for you after getting his interception. We have been very focused on stopping the run. Look at how we have like 8 to 9 in the box. We're crowding the box. We're really not playing about that. Gave up a few deep balls, and we seem to really be confusing South Carolina State's quarterback with our zone coverage at times. I like that you can see the zone defense. The players are moving. Like, it's not just the vanilla zone defense. Also, again, penetration. FAMU's defensive line is getting good penetration against South Carolina State. Their quarterback is not able to get comfortable. He's not able to get comfortable in the pocket at all. And you can see when he's throwing the ball, he's going through his progressions. To the kid's credit, like, you can't sit up here and say the kid can't read defenses. Watch him. He's going through progressions. He's just having to do it at such a lightning speed that he's not comfortable. And FAMU's secondary, the corners are starting to jump the routes. Like, our corners are getting comfortable. They know what they know. You can tell whatever they studied in practice, in film study, I should say, is what they're seeing on the film. Kudos to Coach Smitty Rock, but Coach Smith, because the defense, they're well prepared. They know what they're looking for. Also, FAMU special teams, punt game is strong. Punt game is always strong. And FAMU's got the best kicker in the city. Hate me if you want to, but I'm a Seminole fan just as much as not as much as I'm a FAMU fan. FSU's kicker is struggling. FAMU's kicker is balling. That boy is bananas. Like, hip, hip, Jose. Jose is just, he struck it. And even the commentator goes, that would have been good from another 20 yards. Like, yeah, that was a nice one. So halftime score, 17-0. Also, the orange and green squad came up there. If you have not seen my man, Mr. Hankerson, Earl Hankerson, on his Twitter page, let's turn it to Orange and Green Berg. I'm with you. So I'm going to shut it down so that y'all can watch the halftime show. If you're not familiar, the game is on ESPN3. ESPN3 normally has a channel specifically for the halftime. Right now, they're playing commercials on the main feed. But if you hit the little back button and scroll through, you'll be able to see the South Carolina State Marching 101 perform the halftime show. So it's your halftime report, HBCU Digital Network. Man, it's a frustrating game. I'm not gonna lie. We should be up 20-something to nothing. Like, we should be mollywhopping South Carolina State, but we're not. 17-0 is what we got. Hopefully, in the second half, we continue to see FAMU really dominate South Carolina State. We should be up by a lot more points than we are, respectfully. But that being stated, always it's gonna be fangs up, y'all. Shout out to Cable Busters. And the Black Techies go on at 6 o'clock today. So depending on what time the game ends, if our game ends, I may push the post-game instant reaction to a little bit later, because the Black Techies is going to be on HBCU Digital Network tonight at 6 o'clock. So come on, man. My dude, Herb Stewart, and his crew, they do a great job as far as technology and things like that. So shout out. We are right at 10 minutes, so I'm going to shut it down here, y'all. Watch the rest of the game on ESPN3. This is on HBCU Digital Network. We're going to do a post-game show, and look out for the notifications, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or the whatnot. So the 101 is performing, and out of respect to them, I will bow out. This is Fags Up.